Welcome to Ask Ms Myrz, where we answer your most burning questions and solve your most nagging problems. I won't always know the answer, but I'll know someone who will. The moment we all realized that the pandemic wasn't going away anytime soon and that all our plans and timetables were wrecked, memes and posts started cropping up saying that our 2020 planner was useless. And now that 2021 is just 43 days away, what's the use of planning things if things are still bound to be unpredictable? To shed light and hope for the coming year and the fulfillment of our 2021 goals is Dar Ty-Nilo, president of Viviamo Inc., who 15 years ago created the planner of all planners called Belle Jour, whose success has led to not just an extensive line of other kinds of planners and paper products and customized planners for big corporations, but also to a self-empowerment movement with a huge following of loyal, goal-oriented young women called Bellas. Please welcome Dar Ty-Nilo. Hi.
Hi everyone. Hi Myrz. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. It's been a crazy week.
You take a deep breath. It's your 15th anniversary, and so you're super busy. Thank you for taking time out to be on the show.
Yes, thank you. Thank you also for inviting me. so,
So what's
I'm
up? What's going on? What's in store for your
so
followers all week?
this week we're having like a special rollback on our prizes.
Oh
Our
wow.
launch prizes kasi usually parang we just do this like once a year when we
Right.
launch. We want to reward like the most active or the first buyers of our product. So that's the biggest sale that we ever give. And then ngayon to
Wow.
celebrate our 15th anniversary this week,
Oh my
we're
gosh.
rolling it back for the next 4 days. So until Friday. So we started
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay. And you
So
also have
ayan.
like some activities, right?
Yes, we do have some activities kasi one of the things that I organically grew with the product with the planner is really the community feel,
Right.
and
Right.
we wanted to give a chance also for our Bellas to like just celebrate the 15th anniversary together since medyo COVID, so there's no event.
Right. Right.
But at the very least, somewhat hang out and
Right.
reminisce
And
together.
how big is the community now?
Right now, we're at around 100,000.
Oh my
But
god.
we're, not dami, madami. So, but we try to really, parang I guess the challenge right now is we want to be able to have a deeper relationship with a lot of the Bellas. So, we're
Right.
also focusing more on getting to know them and having more activities wherein they're able to express themselves more. So, not just as simple as joining, signing up, 'di ba?
Right.
But rather, yung talagang nag-interact na talaga with us.
Right. So, and you're donating part of your proceeds, right, to the victims of Typhoon
Yes,
Raleigh.
correct, correct. So, actually, with this 15th year anniversary, the theme for the BTJ planner is I Grow with the Earth. And what was interesting is that that was the theme even before the pandemic kasi
Okay.
we sort of conceptualized as
Right.
early as December, January. And
Wow.
so we didn't know it was gonna be the pandemic. That's around March when a lot of things were happening already. We realized, oh no, we had to revisit the concept. And then we were surprised that actually it worked. That the team works with the whole
Right.
pandemic kasi I think what's been happening on with how fast-paced life is right now is that parang we're so focused on progress that we tend to like I guess step on Mother Earth
Yeah.
and all of, diba, our natural resources. And
Right.
as they said, diba, the pandemic gave us a bit of a reset, like
Right.
air pollution, diba, nabawasan and stuff.
In
So
fact,
with each
worrisome nga ngayon ng, di ba parang we're not thinking of all the plastic now and the masks that You'll be dumped
Yes.
into the ocean. So,
Yes, correct. Kaya actually yung start ng pandemic, what we were promoting for regular people, not the frontliners, is that the cloth masks. So it's at least reusable.
right, right,
Kasi medyo scary rin talaga what's happening. So
right.
yun, with each of our BDJ planner this year, what we decided is we wanted to to save 15 million virgin square meters of
Wow.
virgin rainforest in Palawan.
Wow,
Kasi
how are
can
you
you
gonna do that?
imagine? We're partnering with Center of Sustainability PH. And what's interesting is from sa Philippines, I think if my memory serves me correctly, parang 5% na lang yung forest cover
Oh
natin.
my
So
gosh.
that's how much we've, I guess, vandalized or abused our environment. So there's this group of millennials, the center of for every planner, BDJ planner, it's we save 750 square meters. And then when we sell out, which I believe we will,
Wow.
we will save 15 million. So, abot siya.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Yes, that's why I think you have such loyal followers because it's more than just a planner. It's like a whole advocacy and movement. And, 15 years, parang kailan lang when you were hatching this idea when we were in the same office together.
in the super old office underneath the.
Yes, Dar and I were
So,
co-workers in Summit Media, where she was a magazine publisher. And tell us the
yes.
story of how it all started. You were in search of the perfect planner, but couldn't find one, so you made your own. It's like the story of Spanx. Diba?
Yeah. Kasi actually, during, I guess it was, I worked in the corporate world for a while and I felt like parang there was just an imbalance when I was just using the Outlook calendar. So all the technology during that time, it's 2005. And then I wasn't using a paper planner because syempre, okay, nag-work na eh. So dapat
Right, right,
parang, ano na tayo, parang medyo high-tech na and stuff.
right.
But I felt somewhat that the balance was off. And it parang for me, when I was looking back, and I wasn't successful in the corporate world. And so I had to leave. And then I realized that parang what was my success, my track record for success? Like what were my tools when I was successful in school, in my past, and so on. And one discovery I made was, I was using a paper planner. I was able to break things
Wow.
down and do all of these
How did you
things
even trace that?
because I felt during the corporate world, although medyo crazy than what I did, I took the board exams while I was
Right.
doing a
For
14-hour day
accountancy, right?
jobs. Yeah, I felt I blamed my time management skills.
Okay.
So I said like, okay, it's my time management skill. So what did I use before to help me manage my time? And I guess the natural answer was I used a paper planner. I used different techniques and time management, and I revisited all those techniques, and then I realized there's this value or there's this magic. There's something, diba, with something tangible when
Right.
you're writing things down. And I uncovered a lot of research also on how connected our hands when we write, when we draw, when we do all of these things with our hands, with our subconscious. So it helps us slow things down that we can process things better.
Okay. Instead of
Which,
like,
yeah, ang bilis lang, diretso, exactly. So
right.
that slowing down is very important for us to process things, and it actually makes us faster eventually after you
Oh,
pause. Kasi siguro with more clarity, right?
right. Right. So
So,
taking time to write things down slows things down, giving you perspective and clarity.
yes. Correct,
Wow.
correct.
Right, right, right. So has there
So,
been no temptation to do like a digital app na BDJ? I'm sure it has crossed your mind.
definitely it's crossed my mind because one thing I would be proud of with BDJ, despite a very seemingly dated or old product, we
Right.
actually are very into technology. I guess, since our generation, parang we've been so exposed with, di ba, nang start ng Facebook, with
Right.
Multiply, all of these things. And
Right.
it's so exciting, right? The new tech.
Right.
So, it couldn't help it talaga na you merge it. So, we actually, in the past years, we've done QR codes, AR technology inside the planner.
Okay.
During the first years of BDJ, we were one of the first companies who did like a lot of email marketing, events marketing, the community online.
Right.
And part of what we do is really not just on the planner. And I think
Right.
that's the testament, I guess, of the community. Kasi it's very difficult to do a community on ground in, I mean, and last this long, right?
Right.
So I
Right.
think one of the magic was really that we were able to transcend from the planner into an
Right.
online virtual community for the past
Right.
many years, starting from the emails to Facebook communities and our website that has transitioned so many times in the past 15 years.
Well, you were ahead of everyone because now QR codes are used for menus in restaurants, and
Yes.
now online shopping is the only way to go, Parang you were always a step ahead. And in response to the lockdown, you even put up the first planning and journaling online summit with the hashtag "You got this." You wanna tell us about why you did
Yes.
that?
Exactly the same reason why you shared earlier that a lot of people at the start of the pandemic were parang tweeting, messaging
Right.
in Facebook like 2020 the planner, my
Right.
parang the worst purchase that I made this for 2020 is a planner. So syempre nasaktan ako doon.
I was gonna say, how did it make you feel?
Yeah, but I realized when you pause after that, parang what it actually tells us is that people haven't really understood how to use a planner to
Okay.
help them with everything that's happening, from all
Right.
the anxiety, the goals, and schedules. So
Right.
parang there's this limited belief that a planner is just for your schedules. So
Right.
meaning, since na-wipe yung schedule mo, wala ka nang use for the planner, diba? Yeah, the plan, the schedule on your back. So, but the truth is, planners or journaling, I mean, how you use it together, like mix it up, it's really a way to process things, to connect to yourself, and to break things down. And
Right.
then the output is, of course, your to-do list. The output can be a schedule.
Right.
But the processing before that, the pause before that, and the introspection is very much important. And all the more important in this pandemic we're in, we're so filled with all sorts of worries, fears, and anxiety.
Right. And how do you process those through journaling? And maybe you can share some of the findings of your summit. You had like a whole array of really great speakers.
Yeah, this the different speakers shared with us like different ways on how you can journal and how you can plan. So there are journal prompts that you can follow, like checking in. Of course, number one is always checking in with how you feel. That's one of the most important thing, because sometimes parang with nasanay tayo with all these fast paced, the speed of life right now, that go 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 lang tayo, 'di ba? And then it's running, diba, with the cliche of being in the rat race, that sometimes we feel what's wrong in our life is
Right.
because we're not moving fast enough. But
Right.
actually, diba, parang yung
Right.
parang, I'm not as good, I'm not blah, blah, blah. So, but the truth is, sometimes it's just really actually being able to disconnect, and purposeful disconnection, writing down where you are, how you feel, so you can make a conscious choice if this speed or this life that you have is really the
Right.
life that you want.
Right.
Kasi ang sad, 'di ba, na kung you reach your the midlife crisis, you go go go, then midlife, then parang everything comes crashing down because parang you realize you're not in the place where you want to be. And a lot of things sometimes, 'di ba, they move the midlife crisis to quarter life crisis, so
Yes.
napaaga.
Oo.
Diba? Napaaga siya. So, I mean, yun nga parang things are being rushed. And I think that's one of the biggest lesson of the pandemic. I've seen so many people
Yes.
transitions,
Right.
sometimes out of choice, sometimes out of walang
Right.
choice, diba?
Right. Right.
But if you pause and process it, there's actually so much more that you realize that you can figure out where your magic should be manifested in the world, and you might just feel happier.
Wow. So
So
even before the planning, there's like a
even before
whole
the planning.
there's pausing and self-discovery, pausing and pondering and ano pang letter P.
Yes. Kasi
Self-discovery.
merong ano din, like one of the most common things that we discovered, and I guess I experienced personally also, is that most of us are driven by choices that were imposed to us by society, by our
Right.
parents, by
Right.
friends' expectations, by social media, 'di ba?
Right.
So parang we think na itong choice na to, no, this is really what I wanted. This is really what I
Right.
want. But and you will think actually that that is what you want. Like personally, what happened to me was that I graduated from UP, Business Ad and Accountancy. I had, so dapat magbo-board exam ako. But even before I graduated, I already knew that even if someone paid me 1 million pesos a month, I'm not ever gonna practice accounting. So, parang
Parang pareho
sure
ka
na
na
ako
tayo.
sure na ako, yeah. But, after parang my family and friends, parang sayang naman parang you graduated from UP, so dapat mag-boards ka
Oo.
and so on. So, I ended up parang taking the boards, but at the same time, I had a job offer in multinational, and I couldn't let it go also, despite I don't know,
Knowing.
during one of my interviews, I
Right.
already felt that I didn't fit in. But
Wow.
during that time, I guess during the interview, if I remember, parang my grandpa was get sick already, and eventually that end of the year he passed away. Was that parang he was also worried about me, 'di ba? Syempre gusto yung mga grandparents natin, gusto and parents gusto parang
Yes.
stable job, okay ka na, ganyan. Tapos parang okay, sige. So parang ako, okay, I need to take this on. Despite me already
Right.
during that time, I already knew I wanted to work abroad because I wanted to experience a different kind, that new experience totally.
Right. Right.
So, I went on with that choice. And I take responsibility for it. But that choice that felt so right at that time was really a choice that was imposed to me by my parents, by my
Right.
grandpa, unconsciously, by my parang friends na, oh, sayang naman, oh, let's take the boards together. And
Yeah.
I guess that's how I ended up then not failing in a lot of things. That's one of my biggest failures, but I don't regret it because it brought me where I am today.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
ayun, so parang yun, yung true choice, it's
Oo.
sometimes so hard to really figure out.
Right. So, since your whole company is founded on um, the mission of helping Filipinos live their fullest lives by goal setting and planning, is this hard? Because it doesn't seem to be a strong trait of Pinoys. As we all know, every year we're caught unaware by the typhoon and the flood. Parang, whoa, bumabagyo! Parang every year bago, di ba? Every year parang hindi na pagplanuhan.
Yes. Correct, correct.
What's your experience been
I
in this regard?
sobrang I agree. Kasi just before I went to Summit, I was actually helping in a social advocacy, Gifts and Graces. It's a fair trade organization. And I was helping out also with the planning since I had a strong financial background.
Right.
I was helping in terms of costing and so on para matulungan yung social enterprises to be more profitable. And definitely, the attitude that you would see that was prevalent then, parang, and I can still see it now, is that people really don't plan. As
Right.
long as I have enough food for tomorrow,
Right.
kahit wala pa akong, I don't even have enough food for next week, parang, okay na, I'll just
Right.
rest. Right now, even during the pandemic, parang we were, sometimes we would be offering jobs na parang minimum wage for people na nawalan talaga ng work. And we'd still get responses na, no, I prefer a job that pays me like 2,000 a day and then I don't have to work for the next 3 days. So even if the lack of reliability and consistency of
Right.
having that income, na okay, every day ba you'll get 600 pesos, the minimum wage here in
Right.
Manila with all the stuff, or 2,000 one day pero hindi regular. I mean,
Oo.
they would still choose the 2,000. And parang, for
Wow.
me, I would question na parang, and they would tell me na wala na akong mapakain sa anak ko. 'Di ba? So parang, okay, so how do we connect those dots? And
Right.
I think it's really, there's this expectation sometimes that, I like this quote I recently heard in Take the Stairs from a book. And it says that the success is always rented, not owned. Meaning, even if you're successful today, if you stop working on it, you will lose your success.
Okay.
So that's why it's never owned.
It's not
And
yours to keep.
it's not yours to keep. So for me, if I stop doing the work that I'm doing with Viviamo, it wouldn't last this 15 years. Let's say first year, oh, I experienced success, okay na, tapos let
Okay.
it,
Right.
diba? Parang yun yung mindset. And I guess how does it connect to the Filipinos? We have this bahala na mentality, bahala na si
Yes.
Batman. We have all these quotes. And when I started the BDJ Planner 15 years ago, that's something I really wanted to change.
Right.
We are very short-term minded.
Yes.
Even on a political, diba, 6
Yes.
years, and then
Yes.
you don't really get effective change within this short span. But
Right.
we're so traumatized by martial law that we don't even want to extend. And
Right.
as we all know, each politician want all the accolades. So parang syempre sa akin, tatapusin ko lang kung ano yung sa term ko, ubusin ko. I won't care if it will
Yeah.
extend to the next one or not.
Oh.
So the lasting change that we've been longing is really very dependent on our long-term planning and how we translate it to medium-term and short-term.
Right.
And I guess you can say that, yun nga, we hope to be able to change the culture or improve on the culture of the Filipinos, one planner at a time, making them see that when you make goals and plans, there's so much beauty and so much potential in it.
Wow.
And the journey is just part of it. So, what we were saying with you got this,
Yeah, talaga. Go ahead. Sorry.
kasi, diba, with the you got this PH and even with the pandemic, parang a lot of people would say na parang my dreams have been shattered, parang my goals wala na, ganyan. But the truth of the matter is, your goals didn't have to change. The journey might have
Right.
may have, ano ba yan, mali na yung grammar ko, na-conscious na ako. But I mean, but there was a need to change the journey or maybe our perspective on the journey. That it's really part of the destination or the whole experience.
Right.
So, but ang hirap, I cannot say that it's been easy. It's been emotionally stressful also for us. So, I get it.
Right. So let's
So,
get down to it. Don't throw away your goals. We need to plan.
throw away your
And you
goals.
can achieve them in these unpredictable times, and Dar will help us do just that. So, here are the 5 ways to achieve your goals in uncertain times. Number 1, connect yourself to where you are, no judgment. I'm in a pandemic, eating carbs on the couch, doing nothing. Ganyan ba?
No judgment.
No
No
judgment.
judgment. No judgment. I think for me, for example, parang syempre we were all scared of getting all this pandemic fat, 'di ba?
Oh, okay.
I think at the beginning, sige, okay, we need to be careful. And then later on, okay, sige, I'm forgiving. I'm allowing myself to eat
Right.
all the carbs that I want, all the milk tea that I want,
Eight
because
months
I'm
later.
feeling stressed.
Ako
I'm
yun.
feeling stressed. So, parang you have to acknowledge your feelings. And when we binge eat, when we do all of these things, parang, I mean, I'm not saying do binge eating mindlessly.
Which is what
You
I
can
did.
binge eat with intention.
Oh,
Meaning,
I
I'm
do that.
intending to binge eat because I want to help myself feel better at this
Okay.
time.
But it's not a
So, parang,
long-term feeling of
it's not a long-term thing.
well-being.
Exactly. Kasi if you do it like mindlessly, na parang, okay, whatever, blah, 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 tatagal. Tatagal talaga
Oo.
siya. Kasi it seems like it's never ending.
Right.
But if you just intentionally, you said, I'm gonna do this because this is what I'm trying to address with
Right.
my emotions, then
Right.
okay, after you feel better, okay, I guess I don't need it as much anymore because I kind of feel better now. Diba? So, yun lang, no judgment, but connect to why you're doing something.
Right.
And just acknowledge, I guess, and then appreciate
Of
what
that
you can
binge eat
do.
with intention. Or some people also have been so depressed because they compare the Instagram of other people who look so productive. Diba? They now have abs, or they wrote a
I don't have
book,
abs.
or they wrote a book while I sat on the couch and binge watched The Crown. Diba? At what point do you, no judgment, diba? But then,
No judgment,
how
no
do you snap
judgment.
out of ano na, catatonia?
Totoo niya.
Para immobilize.
um, I think it's really first realizing why you're going to catatonia. Like, acknowledging the emotions behind it. Kasi ako personally, I really did a lot of, like, especially, parang, we're friends with Serenity because they're our partner. So, I was really bugging. Like, kailan ba kayo mag-open? Kailan ba kayo magpapadeliver? As in, gano'n. Parang,
Addiction.
kailangan ko na. I need it. Like, ganyan. But then, like, I realized, then later on, na parang, okay. Kasi parang, I guess I was feeling anxious. I felt the deprivation that was brought about by the pandemic, that you're not allowed to go out, you're not allowed to see your friends, you're not allowed, parang ang daming bawal, 'di ba? And when I was able to eventually get over or realize that it was more that, parang nawala yung craving.
Okay.
Nawala yung ano, kasi parang, but of course, syempre, uminom muna ako. I think there was like a week or a month maybe. Like, I would buy parang in bulk because syempre, it's not open every day. So I would like
In
hoard.
bulk?
No, seriously. So I
Malaki
would
ba yung
order.
nilagyan?
And there's a ref. Parang iwan. So what are the, ano, and then I would just treat it as a treat. And then, but syempre, I also thought about, okay, why did it feel this way?
Right.
And what was the emotion behind it, driving it? And then, I
Right.
guess, reviewing, like, what are the consequences? Kasi lahat naman ng choices natin may consequences, diba? So, part of it is gaining weight. So,
Right.
if it's okay for you to gain weight and you choose to gain weight, then that's fine, right?
Right.
Na, okay, right now, it's a pandemic. I'm allowing myself to get fat. I don't care
Right.
if people have abs. I
Right.
just want to get fat. And
Right.
that's fine. I
Right.
forgive myself. So, ayun, parang, you need to connect. And then, after you connect, to get out of catatonia is really to realize na, are the consequences something I really want?
Right.
And
Worth
so
it
me,
ba?
worth it ba? Exactly. So with me, eventually, parang I felt like, okay, I guess I can't be this addicted and I can't
Right.
parang handle my emotions just burying it with milk tea, right?
Right.
So I need to handle my anxiety in some other more productive way. So actually, that was also the time that I started to write things down again a bit more.
Okay.
And then I guess it opens you up for more possibilities.
Right. So before you reach for the milk tea, grab your journal.
Grab your journal.
Sure
Yes.
ba yan? Baka makalimutan.
Oo. So, but definitely no judgment because the moment you judge yourself, wala na.
Yeah.
You won't get possibilities or ideas anymore because you'll just feel bad.
I
Diba?
have to
You'll
admit,
just,
kaya ako nagkaroon bigla ng mga talk show because I judged my lack of productivity. Like, oh my God, week 3 na nakahiga pa rin ako. Wala ba akong gagawin? And so I judged myself and then I said, nagkaka-talk show na lahat. Kailangan magka-talk show din ako. But then, yun na nga, in the end, I really like step back. And dati kasi 3 times a week parang kinamamatay ko. Ngayon, 2 times a week.
oo. And then, I mean, it's okay, diba? When you explored it and then you realize that this is something that you would want to pursue and you're making a
Right,
difference.
right,
Um, that's it's a great, I mean, addiction or parang that trigger doesn't really matter as long as you, when
right,
you evaluate it and choose to continue it, it's really purposeful na, in other words,
right,
diba?
right. Okay, number 2, remember the time you felt successful and proud of yourself.
So a lot of times people would feel like such a failure or stuck and all, I mean, all of these self-doubts creeping in,
Right,
especially when there's a lack of progress or that when you
yes,
compare nga when
right,
social
right.
media na bakit may ang dami na nilang ganito tapos ako wala pa rin
Oo.
or their life is like that. So it really leaves you in a place of being stuck. But all of us, regardless of how bad your life is right now to anyone watching, you will always have this time wherein you felt successful or proud of yourself. I sincerely believe that. Even like when we were learning how to walk. As
Okay.
diba? Toddlers, diba? We fell down so many times, but we were just so excited to be able to explore our limbs, our legs, and we were excited to walk. We were excited to run even when we would fall down, right?
Right,
It,
right,
so there's that time when we felt like maybe we weren't so sure of ourselves, but because we were curious about something, we felt that drive and we were able to succeed.
right,
So we just remember these successful moments or the times in our life wherein we just felt proud of ourselves and look at what were the patterns during that time. What did you have when you
right.
had when you had this feeling of success and you felt so proud of yourself? So maybe that's just there's a tool there that you can replicate. So with me, it was the planner. I mean, diba? Parang I felt like, no, kailangan ko ng planner. That was my secret weapon. Kaya ako successful nung time na yun. Whether it was right or wrong, it didn't matter. But what mattered is how you felt towards these patterns.
Right.
And you can realize na, during this time, kasi I didn't doubt myself. I just felt so confident about what I knew.
Right.
And so I was successful.
Right.
Other patterns can be like, parang I had a friend who encouraged me,
Right.
diba? Or if you didn't have a friend, parang yung those little things that
Right.
you can just note na parang, parang pwede ko, baka there's something there that I can replicate now. So
Right.
I'll feel a bit successful and hopefully fuel your next success.
Right. That's so true because so I don't know if you know, but it's been a year since I retired from Summit after a long time
Yes.
of working there. And so I thrust upon this new world of possibilities and yet fears, diba? So parang I was used to the corporate life. I was used to uh, doing a different kind of job, and then suddenly everything's new. I have to learn all these new things. Okay,
Sorry, I had to charge kasi na-realize ko, oh my God, my battery is like
okay.
5%. Baka biglang mamatay yung
Thank you for
computer ko.
doing that. Nangyari na before.
Okay.
So yon, and then suddenly I was afraid. Like, how can I be afraid when I was I also gave up in my early 20s. I ditched the corporate life in SGV and company, and I became a model, like quite fearlessly. And I
I
didn't
know.
know kung may future. I didn't know kung kikita ako. I didn't know kung mapapatawad ba ako ever ng parents ko for, di ba, they were saying, pinag-aral ka pa namin and then yung gusto mong trabaho, posing. So last year, parang I was at the crossroads na, oh my gosh, anong gagawin ko? Paano ko to gagawin? Alam ko ba to? Bakit ako takot? Samantalang nung bata ako, hindi ako takot. And then the older you get, minsan mas takot ka pa pala the older you get. Kasi
Yes.
pag bata ka, hindi mo naman alam, di ba? Parang, that's
Correct,
why kids
correct.
are fearless. They just climb walls and jump off high places without thinking. Youth pala, the ignorance of youth makes you fearless. And then when you age, you know so many bad things that might happen
Can
along the
go
way.
wrong.
So this is really
Yeah.
true. If you remember, try to duplicate anong meron ka noon na pwede mong gamitin ngayon. Obviously, youth is not the answer for me.
Yeah. No, but diba, parang sabi niya, you can stay young at heart. So,
Right.
I guess part of the ignorance and the brilliance of youth is being able to really dare to allow yourself to make mistakes.
Right. True.
And kasi 'di ba 'yun pag bata tayo, okay lang 'yan, magkamali ka, bata ka pa naman eh. 'Di ba? Parang 'di ba? That's what we say. So, what if we apply it to our age now regardless of how old we are, right?
Right. And kung bata ka, parang wala kang pake talaga ako. Anong sabihin nila? Wala akong pake.
Talaga,
Pero
yeah.
pag older ka na,
Exactly.
ang dami mong pake.
You feel like I think it's the feeling that you have more to lose because you've
Yes.
built a reputation.
True, true.
'Di ba? So
Right.
it's I mean I can relate. I can completely relate. I know it's a work in progress. I won't
Yeah.
say like all these 5 tips is something I'm able to apply 100% the whole
Right.
time of my life. It's still something I need to remind myself from time to time,
Right.
and
Great.
it's not easy.
And number 3 is really the bottom line. Joy.
Yes, joy.
So
In
think
one of my lowest times during this pandemic that I felt like I was really crying, that I really didn't know what to do because parang I felt like everything I've worked for the past 15 years is gonna go down the drain because I
oh,
don't know what's next, 'di ba? Parang
right.
sabi ko,
I'm
parang how
sure.
am I gonna fight for our company when the whole world doesn't know how to fight for it right now? Like so many
Right.
businesses were closing, the psychological impact na ano mo yun, 2 million people losing jobs, 200,000. As in like, I don't know, I was like reading a lot of news also
Right.
because I needed to be
Yeah.
updated for our company, and I also give the news to my team like medyo filtered. And I realized, diba, this old adage talaga na on the joy that what will always fuel us, pandemic or not, is the joy we feel in the work that we do. And a friend really asked me, what makes you feel radiantly alive? Isn't that like such a hard-hitting question? As in, umiiyak ako nung sinasabi niya sa akin yun kasi
Oh
parang
no.
like, I don't feel radiantly alive right now. So,
I
it's in
just
the
want a
middle of the
milk tea.
pandemic. Yeah, I want a milk tea so I can feel a bit of alive. Parang ganyan. So, ayun, na parang you think about things that brought you joy. And parang for me, I had to really pause and I really had to step back and think about what about the work that we've done in Viviamo, bringing about BDJ that brought joy to me, that helped me sustain all these years.
Right.
What got me excited. And and parang just knowing that even if hindi ko siya kaagad magawa,
Right.
helped me. And
So,
actually, my answer to that, ay sorry,
yeah.
yun ba?
Yeah,
I'm
yun.
so madaldal.
Yun.
I realized talaga, I really like designing products. I really like designing journals.
Right.
So, there's so much, diba, as you know, it's not with the work in publishing and in business, there's so much more to that aspect.
Right.
You
Right.
have so much operation, you have finances, you have HR, you have all these other things that bug you down. But ayun, na parang, I mean, I didn't stop doing all those other things. Not yet. But at
Right.
least just recognizing what about my work that brought me joy and what gets me excited, like holding the planner first time in your hands after it,
Right.
the proof, the ganyan, diba? When we were in Summit, the Bible. Tapos
Yeah.
after you see the magazine fresh off the press, parang titingnan mo
Right.
talaga. Tapos parang may time na you stop kasi you can see all the mistakes. Di ba, minsan naman gano'n, na parang all the error, parang ayaw mo na. Ganyan. So, there's really that joy that I get when I see the planners. Thank you for showing the planner.
So do you design every single planner?
No, I would just say siguro I do a bit of art direction or concept direction
Okay.
because we do have our team of artists who help us and who write everything. But in terms of the concept and then doing all the OC details later on, like nitpicking here, nitpicking there, that's where my job is on the critique part. So, and then like what are the angles? A lot of things I also learned from Summit. So, I'm very grateful.
Right.
And
Right.
but yun, the joy for me is on the product development.
Oh, so did you try and do more of that again to bring
It
back the
wasn't
joy?
as feasible because around June or July, we're almost done with our product development. So it was
Okay.
really on that. But siguro, just identifying it and realizing, okay, then the system that I have to be able to do for our
Right.
company is to help my team do the other things that doesn't bring me joy but brings them joy, and
Right.
then me to focus on that joy. So parang, I guess in a way, it opened up a new purpose for me and the company to help everyone, including myself, to focus on the work that brings us joy.
Right.
Ang, I don't know, circular ng logic,
Right.
but parang essentially, that's that, na, and there will always be something, I believe, that will bring you joy.
Right.
Sometimes baka we're just so buried with all the stress that we forget
Right.
it.
And if you figure out na walang joy, baka mali yung you're in the wrong place or you're doing the wrong thing. So number 4 is write down at least 3 possibilities based on 1, 2, and 3, no matter how disconnected. So balik tayo sa 1. Ano yung sample possibility?
Yourself.
Ano yung
You connect to
sample?
yourself, like when you get to know yourself. One of the things that you need to allow yourself in this pandemic is to fall in love and out of love with
Oh,
yourself.
with yourself.
With yourself. The first, kasi wala yung parang, di ba, and for some people who live alone, there's no one
Right.
else but you.
Right, right, right.
For people who are surrounded with so much relative, minsan parang, I just want to be alone.
Oo
So,
nga.
it's really, di ba, may ganon. So, it's really about connecting to yourself where you have no judgment, connecting it with your patterns of success, and third is to your joy. So,
Right.
given those 3 elements, yourself, success, and joy, you think about what are opportunities to tie them together. Or parang kuwari, kung may nakita ka lang na, okay, what's the possibility for me? So parang, possibility for me is to hire someone to handle all the operations and I'll just focus on product development. Possibility for me. So, sometimes kasi, when we don't explore possibilities, we feel we're just stuck with
Right.
this one option of the
Right.
reality that I have right now and I have no other choice but to do it.
Right.
But if you practice, and writing possibilities is not easy, or thinking about possibilities is not easy. That's why we need to practice it. So, no matter how parang hindi naman connected yung mga sinasabi ko na gusto kong gawin or that parang ito connect lang siya sa joy, ito hindi nagko-connect sa success ko, ito nagko-connect lang with myself but it has no connect to this or that. Just write it down. Because we need to practice possibilities thinking.
Right.
So with that, parang it will be a starting point wherever you are, no matter how bad things are, or
Right.
even no matter how good things are, but it just doesn't feel like it's enough.
Right.
It would be a good tip talaga to just write
Right.
down possibilities.
What if somebody asks, this is somebody I know, right? So she's an artist at heart, and she would love to do nothing more but draw and paint. But she's a breadwinner, and so she is in a job she doesn't love. It's okay, brings in the money, and so she has a side hustle of drawing portraits of people. But then she's always conflicted, like, I wish I didn't have to do this job I don't really love. So
Correct.
minsan, they might say, anong choice ko, breadwinner ako, alam mo namang, mag-drawing na lang ako, di ba? What do you have to say to like things like that?
Number one, it's very important to acknowledge that you always have a choice. Like we talked about this actually in the office. Sometimes most of us feel like I'm the breadwinner, so I don't have a choice to choose my dream over my family. But you
Right.
actually have a choice. You can choose to abandon your family. If I mean, being bold enough to say that, kasi that's a choice, eh. But the
Right.
thing is, you choose your family.
Right.
So if you take control of that choice, na no, I want to give my family a future.
Right.
I want to be able to provide a bit to my family. And you acknowledge that it is a choice, not a lack of choice. There's a
Right.
bit of change of emotion that
Right.
goes with it. And it becomes less mabigat. Now, how do you balance it with what your passions are, your dreams, 'di ba? Na I really want to be a artist, a painter. Why don't you figure out how to draw? Once you acknowledge that there's a choice, then you can explore solutions. Kasi if you're stuck na I have no choice. Parang ang hirap mag-isip ng solution, 'di ba? Oo, 'di ba? Parang stuck ka na parang I'm here in this box and then you're insisting that you don't have any choice. Then of course, your brain won't even think of other solutions because you're telling yourself that you have no choice. But if
Right.
you tell yourself, I have a choice, I'm choosing this, but I also want to explore other options wherein I can balance it, then I'm sure your brain can think about other possibilities. So for me, one possibility is figure out how much your family needs. Draw a boundary. Okay, so maybe if this is exactly just what the family needs, can I could just contribute up to 70% instead of the 100%. Look
Right.
for other support system and draw a boundary, and then maybe I can just work 3 days a week for this corporate job or another job that can support that 70%. And the 30%, I will do it with my art, with drawings, with portraits, build a name so that I can also earn money from it and do those things side by side. But
Right.
first, yun nga, I'm sure sobrang dami pa ibang options. Especially parang if the person's very talented and if the person has different connections.
Right.
But it starts first with the mindset kasi
Right.
I really feel a lot of the problems that we personally have, the solution is just in front of us.
Right.
But it's hard to see it when we keep on insisting that that I'm stuck, I don't have any choice.
Right.
I don't
So
know. I hope that helps
lagging
to
my
that
choice.
friend. But the lagging my choice.
Here's the meat.
Lagging my choice.
Lagging my choice. Here's the meat of the matter. Na planning how to plan for 2021 is month by month. Is that what you're saying?
Think about what you can do this month that can help you walk towards your desired possibility. So the fourth was thinking about what are 3 different possibilities. So that's just a start, right? For me,
Right.
if you can write 10, actually, if you want to practice, you really have to write 10 possibilities every time, no matter how absurd
Yan.
this
Okay.
possibility is. Because
Right.
the idea is just to expand your brain
Right.
and parang I guess look have a wider perspective,
Right.
and you just encourage yourself to just think of wild ideas no matter how wild. You choose a possibility that you want to pursue, and then with the possibility that that you want to pursue, then you try to write down like what can I do this month that will lead me towards that, no matter how small. Kasi
Right.
minsan thinking too far ahead
Right.
can be too overwhelming, right?
Right.
So minsan we don't even want to pursue these possibilities because it seems impossible.
Right.
So one way to handle the overwhelm is just, okay, it's okay. I'm not saying I'm gonna do this um turn around overnight, or that I'm gonna achieve everything in 2021, pambawi ko for 2020. But this is my possibility. This is the possibility I want to pursue. Oh, this month, ano kaya pwede kong gawin,
Right.
no matter how small, to just go towards that possibility.
Right.
Maybe I can talk to someone who, for your art friend, maybe I can talk to someone who's successful in being able to monetize her art.
Right.
Just talk to someone, talk to different people. Oh, how did you guys do this? Parang, were you exploring? I mean, ganun lang. Just
Right. Right.
explore and play around with
So you can just say
possibilities. And
call artist friend. Yun lang, di ba?
exactly, yeah, can be as simple as that. Call artist friend, tapos, or brainstorm with office mate
Right.
regarding options in the office, right?
Right. Hi.
So,
Hello.
ayan. Okay, you can come here, say hi first.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
So, like here, this is my
Hello.
4-year-old daughter.
Hello. What's your name?
What's your name? What's your name?
Tisa.
Tessa?
Tisa.
Tisa, do you have a
Tisa.
planner too, Tisa? Do you have a planner? A baby
No, but she
planner?
made a storybook.
Ooh,
She
I
drew a
like
storybook.
that. Maybe you can be, I was going to say magazine. Maybe you can be a publication editor.
Okay.
So are you saying that we can't really plan long term muna and month by month lang? Or can we? How do we do it?
I would still plan for long term, but I think most of the people, the reason that I was just saying that translated to this month is because it helps people with the overwhelm.
Right.
And right now, parang part of our reality is really that there's really a lot of things that I mean, it's very easy to be overwhelmed. So I think if you're not overwhelmed, I think medyo you're on the abnormal side.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
I think what's normal is you'll be overwhelmed in this
Right.
pandemic with all the typhoons, with all the craziness that's happening.
Yeah.
So one thing for me is to just focus on what I can control, which is not 2021, but this month it makes things a bit more tangible.
Right.
I would still write possibilities for 2021, because if you do not even intend on having a great year for 2021, or being able to do so many other things in 2021, I don't I think you'll be farther from reaching that versus a person who've intended all those things.
Right.
So I would really practice possibilities
I cannot find
possibilities
I
thinking.
cannot find it.
Right.
I think it's finished, baby.
Right. I was particularly intrigued by you have a journal called Focus.
Mm-hmm. Yes!
Wait,
Tama,
I'm
yung
going
focus
to show them.
journal.
Kasi parang instead of, I mean, you can't really
There,
plan
there.
for the whole year, but saan na siya?
The,
Try
go
ko
up a
siyang
bit. Go up a bit.
Oh, I hate
Yeah, there. Uh-oh.
Sa shop and is it
Ayan,
journal?
planners.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
There.
meron siya.
You can scroll down a bit.
Oops. Saan na siya?
Sa taas. Dapat na sa taas.
Oops. Oh. Parang wala siya sa... Baka nasa...
Wala. Ay, sorry, planner. It should be in the planner.
Okay, wait. So anyway, you wanna tell them about focus journal? What?
The focus journal, the way we designed the focus journal, it was, I think, I believe, our third planner.
Yes.
So, the focus journal is for the people who want to be a bit more minimalist.
Yes.
And what we opened this up, I think it's gonna be in the 8th year of the focus journal. And when we started this, we wanted to just sort of declutter in a way. Kasi I guess the difference with the other planners, sometimes people also get overwhelmed with so many words that we ask. Kasi if you check the different planners, our planners really have a lot of these special pages. And all of these really root or ground in your vision of your life.
Right.
And that's very intentional because, again, as I shared earlier, we want Filipinos to be able to look long term.
Right.
Kasi what happens normally is we live by default instead of by design.
Yes.
But what if you can actually design your life to be a life that you love, that you can be excited about? So with the focus journal, the one way that we're able to we give the design of the focus journal is that, okay, if you're a bit overwhelmed, okay, we'll minimize all these special pages and then you just focus on one word a month.
Okay.
So if you're focusing on change for the month of January, what are the things that you need to process in terms of change? So there's small prompts there. The layout is quadrant-like, as you saw in the weekly pages. So people who wants more space, they can use that. And ayun, meron siyang reflection or introspection at the end of the month, the check-up. And then what I learned.
Para may accountability.
Oo, may accountability. Kasi we need to take responsibility for our choices. And and the options that we have and the consequences of these options. So if we keep on living a life because I have no choice, I have to support my family, eventually you will live a life of resentment.
Right.
Because you feel like I'm so burdened by my family. So instead, that this action is actually an act of so much love and sacrifice.
Right.
It becomes a negative thing. And just because we put that weight on it. So that's why I would, if that's really already the feeling, you take, diba, no judgment. That's your feeling. Connect to yourself. It means your boundaries are being crossed. It means you're giving yourself too much. And you're reaching a bit of unhappiness. So now that you recognize that, what do you do about it? And I think that's sometimes the scariest thing, to realize that you actually have a choice. Because
yes,
it means,
now you have to do something.
now you have to do something. Now you have to maybe possibly hurt your family in a way if they don't understand it, right?
That's not pleasant.
That's not going to be pleasant. You might have honest, confrontational conversations, which definitely is not going to be comfortable. Right? But in the long run, where will that lead you? And will it lead you to a life that you will love? Or will it continue to lead you to a life of default and resentment? So where do you want to go? Diba?
Right.
So I had those conversations because I was also a breadwinner, and I was the eldest. I'm the eldest of my family, my siblings. So I also had to have that conversation with my siblings in terms of supporting the family and so on. So I get it. I really get it. And I think a lot of people in our community are also breadwinners.
Right.
And that's why we keep on encouraging na it's not about, okay, I abandon all responsibility and follow my heart, follow my passion. It's not that. It's because you won't be happy also. If you do that and be irresponsible in that sense, you won't be happy. You'll be regretful because of the relationships you'll break, right? So you need to really just take a pause, plan it out properly, and be honest. Come from a space of trust and love, and I am confident that the answer will eventually come out. It might not be easy to bring it out, but it will. Ayun.
Wow. Kala ko planning lang, parang therapy. Ang galing. How have you planned your 2021, you yourself?
Me, my 2021, more on business planning. I guess
Okay.
parang thinking about like trying to survive this year. And to
Right.
be honest, we're still not on the safe end, but we're still fighting for it. But I think because I've opened myself up to possibilities, we've also attracted a lot of new other clients and new possibilities on where we can expand as a company. So in terms of planning, it's just exploring these possibilities. So we wrote them down and then figuring out what are the systems that we need. So yung sinasabi nila, the success of your goals rise as high or as well as your systems, which are your
Wow.
habits on the day-to-day. Exactly, that's my answer. Patay, exactly. So that's why parang, okay, we need to take the system seriously then. So that parang our goals or how we achieve these goals can reach higher because the systems are higher compared to where it is
Right.
now. We're in I'm a product of our culture. I'm not
course.
as also always as organized as I'd like to be, even if we design planners. But
Right.
definitely I
That's a
would
relief.
we're all a work in progress, and that's okay.
What are some of the habits that you have um, changed or developed that led to your the betterment of your life?
Every morning it's really intending of having a good day. Like the start, instead of shit, I have to wake up or whatever. Parang no, I'm gonna have a great day today. So parang even that slight energy in the morning of being excited,
Right.
parang it boosts you up. At
Right.
the start of the pandemic, I don't know if it's just me, but parang I wasn't taking a bath every day. Kasi parang, okay, I'm not
Not just
going
you.
out.
It's other
So
people in this
then,
house.
but eventually, in the middle of it, I realized, no, I really need to take a bath. Not for the other people that I see when I go out, because I'm still not going out. But it was for myself because I
Right.
feel like this refreshing water, cleaning. I mean, diba, that feeling lang. There's like self-care element to it. So, I go, okay, parang may effect pala siya on my
I love the
psychological
answer. What
health.
habits have you developed that led to the betterment? Naligo po ako araw-araw.
Yeah, so
But I
everybody
get it.
please take a
I
bath.
know what you mean.
It's little things
I
kasi
know.
parang people sometimes think na parang no, I have to have a better life, I need to change drastically. But
Right.
there's a lot of little things that you can do
Right.
that can just lead for a better life. It doesn't have big and drastic, it just needs to be consistent.
Right. Right. Maybe that will answer the question of Diane Twinkle Carpio. What makes you get up
Oh,
and excited morning? Ang paliligo. For you to stand up
pagliligo.
number one.
So it's worth it to buy the shampoo of the smell, the shampoo with the smell that you like,
Right.
because you feel good when you take a bath and feel all the fragrance there.
Right.
So for me, excited to get myself up in the morning. I guess I excite myself to the possibility na okay, today I think we can get a sale, we can have more ideas, I can work with these people, and just looking forward to that possibility, even if parang malabo pa, meaning it's
Right.
not as ano, but I think once you just intend it, parang somehow, even if you don't get it today, tomorrow, the next day, this week, parang you
Right.
attract more positivity.
Right.
Ayun. But there
So,
are days that I really just stay in bed. So
right.
don't get me wrong na just forgive yourself, I think. that there will be good days, there will be bad days,
Right.
and that's okay. But that's what gets me excited.
But at least intend to have a good day instead
Intend
of
to have a good day, yeah. And
saying,
think of
instead of starting the day
what
with a
would
curse.
make it correct. Okay, na parang tinatamad ka bumangon, 'di ba? Na parang ano ba 'yan? So gloomy outside. I don't want to stand up, 'di ba? O then all the more you don't want to stand up.
Right. Thank you,
Yes.
lovely bliss. I love your name.
Yeah.
With
Sabi ko,
bliss.
that's
Right.
why nga, sabi ko, ay, ano, Mirza, you're our life peg in,
Oh my gosh. That
when we're in
reminded me on
Summit.
Facebook that I helped her choose the name pala of Belle.
Yes!
Hindi ko maalala. Where were we when that conversation happened?
Trisha Andres, diba?
Okay,
She's
hi
my
Trish.
friend, diba? And then she worked under you for Marie Claire. I really love that magazine until now. But ayun, tas parang I couldn't decide kasi I guess I wanted something different. That's why I went for a foreign word. And I don't know if people knew this, but the name of the company, Viviamo, is Italian for we
Yes,
live.
yes, yes.
So I felt like, okay, what's like something interesting that I can put in? So that's why when I was researching the words, it came like Mon Cherie and like Belle de Jour. Tapos, to be honest, I was really leaning to Mon Cherie. Tapos biglang, we were discussing ni Trisha. Tapos sabi niya, why don't we ask Mirza? Sabi ko, okay, sige, ask her kasi mas close kayo. Sabi ko, okay. And then that's where you said like, parang better yung Belle de Jour. Tapos sabi ko, sige, go Belle de Jour. Tapos
Say why?
I think kasi, diba, if I remember correctly, like the Belle de Jour is French fashion lingo for it girl.
Yes.
So we went with that na yeah, oo nga no, kasi parang what we want to be able to promote with the planner is a lifestyle.
Right,
So it's
right.
not just about like yun nga the schedules, but rather the life that you want to live. And that's why the first ever tagline of BDJ was also live life to the fullest.
Right. And I think that's the best way to end our episode. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Dar. You want to
Thank
tell us
you.
about what else they can expect or what else is happening this week that you want to promote?
Please do drop by our Facebook pages. You can drop by Belle de Jour Power Planner or Crazy About Paper and
Crazy
check
about
out our latest products and join our activities. Actually, it's happening right now from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. because we have so many games and prizes for
Okay.
everyone. So, we just want to celebrate with people. Nakamiss ng mga tao kasi nasa
Oh,
bahay lang.
thank you so
So,
much, Dar. Thank you
thank
for
you so much for having me.
giving us hope for the new year, which starts in exactly 43 days. Ayan po.
Okay.
And thank you for the work that you do and the planners that you make and the goal setting that you encourage everyone to do. Thank you.
Thank you again.
All
And
right.
have a great week,
All
everyone.
right. And have a great 2021. Goodbye, 2020.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. This has been Ask Ms Myrz, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.